You're perfect, ugly fucker! Get your weapons ready! He's dead! Look at it! Watch it! It ain't human! Kill it! A leech! A leech! Over there! There's one of them vermin!
Good evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
You seem happier than before.
I live with Mrs. Fishburne now, in her house. I have a bed and everything.
Heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter lately?
I heard that Mr. Hampton has been very sick, but now he's better.
So how is your new life going?
Good. I have a roof over my head and warm meals. Mrs. Fishburne is the best. But she's so sad. I hear her crying at night.
Even if she did take you in, Mrs. Fishburne lost her son, who she loved very much.
I know, but it makes me feel funny. I should feel bad for being here after Seymour died, not happy.
Seymour's death has nothing to do with you, Rufus. You have every right to be happy.
Mrs. Fishburne has been like a mother to me, and it's my turn to help her the best I can.
Tell me your feelings about Seymour's death, Rufus.
I am sad for Mrs. Fishburne, not for her dead son. I was afraid of him and his threats. I don't think a lot of people will miss him.
Do you need help?
A real doctor...
A real...
I don't know what...
So long. Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Of course. Dr. Reed. I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worried.
I'm so sorry about your loss, Mrs. Fishburne.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. Could you check Rufus's health for me, please? I've been taking care of this young nipper since my poor Seymour died.
Very well. But why so nervous?
Even if he lives with me now, Rufus still spends too much time outside. He grew up in the streets, you see, and he's kept his old habits.
Do you have any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
I just heard the sad saint keeps on helping the sick and poor. God bless his soul.
So, you live here with Rufus now? And how is everything?
Yeah. We both had our share of tragedy, but I suppose it's a relief not to be alone in life.
Did Rufus talk to you about his past?
I knew the boy had a hard time in the streets, but I had no idea how miserable he really was. And I suspect he won't tell me all that he remembers.
I'd like to know more about your son's death, Stella.
I was so afraid to see Seymour arrested and executed that I never thought about him being murdered.
With all due respect, your son has escaped judgment for far too long. I have no mercy for the merciless.
With all due respect, Doctor, nobody knew my Seymour like I did, and certainly not you.
In the end, Seymour avoided being judged for what he did. Does that not disturb you, Stella?
For months, my greatest fear was to see my son being arrested and hanged. Now that he's dead, no one will ever know.
Do you believe your son could have avoided being caught forever?
I have no idea. Sometimes I felt like he was becoming more and more careless. Perhaps he wanted to be caught.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
She's got no idea.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
Have you got any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
As long as he keeps on helping the poor, I'll keep my boys at bay, even if he pisses them off.
Can I see what you have?
As long as you have money.
You again. What do you want?
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
That bastard's become something of a holy man these days. And someone should remind him who really rules the docks.
Do you need medical help, sir?
Yeah, I do. If you can throw in some drugs, I can find use for that too.
So you can sell them on the black market? Sorry, I'll only provide you with exactly what you need.
Fair enough, Dr. Reed. Don't cost me nothing to ask.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Welcome back.
Have you got any recent news on Sean Hampton's shelter?
It's still there, just like the turquoise turtle. That means there is still hope, somehow.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
You still working at this hour?
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
I was told he caught a deadly disease, but survived against all odds. Maybe he really is touched by grace.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish. Good evening, Mr. Woodbeat.
Good evening to you, my young doctor.
Do you have any recent news on Sean Hampton's shelter?
The man is still here. He's trying to help others despite the terrible things he endured. I'm impressed.
Goodbye, sir.
trusted me! Fuck is fast! Eat this!
Good evening, sir. I'm glad to see you safe.
I am not safe. I should never have come back here. My life is in danger. I know it.
You're much safer here than in that contaminated area.
Bullets kill people quicker than diseases and epidemics, Dr. Reed.
Do you have recent news of Sean Hampton's shelter?
I heard he kept on helping people, but I tried to stay away from his shelter. I don't feel safe there.
What can you tell me about this district?
The East End Docks only knows one rule. Dog eat dog, and blood calls for blood. The gang will have their revenge on me one way or another.
What can you tell me about the locals?
Most people would say that Sean Hampton and Tom Watts are good men who try to sort things out. But for me, the real boss around there was my best friend, Jack Gillingham.
Jack Gillingham? You say?
Everyone round there knew Jack. He was a rock. A mountain, even. He feared nothing.
Your friend Jack has something to do with you fleeing to the contaminated area where I found you. I want to know more.
Jack is dead. That's all you need to know. Dead because of me. So much violence. So much sorrow. All of that because I refuse to be insulted again.
No man can predict the exact outcome of his actions. It's the curse we have to live with. We can only gamble and do what we think is best.
Perhaps you're right. The district was doomed before I was born. But I cannot stop myself thinking that Jack died for me.
Why do you say that?
After I killed that gang member, the Wet Boot Boy suspected Jack. And being loyal and all, he did not refute the accusation.
You are not going to spend the rest of your life hiding, Rodney. What are you planning to do?
Honestly, I have no idea. How am I supposed to live while so many have suffered because of me?
Only you can answer that question. But one thing is certain. Since you owe Jack your life, I think it's fair to live it in a way that would make him proud.
That's the kind of thing Jack could have said, Dr. Reed. Thank you for that. I believe you're a good guy too.
The death of your friend has affected you deeply, hasn't it?
Jack Gillingham was the real deal. He believed we could change the world if we were united and focused enough. And he brought out the best in each of us.
You're right. He died to save you. That alone gives me an idea of the kind of man he was.
He was the bravest. And no one dares to say openly that he got killed by those bastards.
Your friend's plan was audacious, if not reckless. No one stands up by themselves to a gang like the Wet Boot Boys.
How dare you say that? You never met him.
Do you need help, Mr. Grader?
Death by disease or by bullet? Do I really have to choose?
Well, I have nothing to stop the bullets, but this should make you feel better.
You have a strange sense of humor, Dr. Reed. But thanks anyway.
The death of your friend...
Jack Gillingham.
Goodbye, Mr. Grader. Take care. Good evening, Mr. Nightingale.
Come on in, Dr. Reed.
May we speak?
Sure, since you're here.
Have you heard anything recently concerning Sean Hampton's shelter?
He keeps investing time helping the poor and sick. Good for him. And for them.
Goodbye for now.
Welcome back to my humble shelter, Dr. Reed. Are you here to subdue me again?
No, Sean. I just came by to see how you are.
I feel all right. Why'd you ask?
Are you still feeding on corpses?
No. It's almost as though the blood you forced me to drink has provided me eternal satisfaction.
How is the sanitary situation in this part of town?
I think it's acceptable. Fewer cases of sickness recently. I thank the Lord for his mercy.
How are things in your shelter? Between the mortals and the immortals, I mean.
Even if we're all children of God, I've always maintained a strict frontier between the two communities.
What do you fear?
A few years ago, a Skal decided to pay a nocturnal visit to my sleeping customers. He got caught licking their necks in the dark. Since then, I have added a lock to the door.
What if food became scarce? Wouldn't the immortals in your flock be tempted to feed on the living? Wouldn't you?
The Skals can feed on the dead, Doctor. And until Judgment Day, mortals will continue dying.
Would you let me listen to your chest, Sean?
No, Dr. Reed. You already forced me to drink your blood, and I thank you for that, for I feel better now. But it was quite an unpleasant experience.
It would help me greatly if you would allow me to give you a physical examination.
I said no. I'm no subject of medical examination, and I intend only to obey and to kneel before God.
How did you meet old Bridget?
When younger, I used to patrol the streets at night, searching for lost souls. This is how I met her. It took me 2 months just to get her name. Now we support each other.
Had you already visited their hideout in the sewers?
Just once, and very briefly. Most of them are very discreet, and they see me as an outsider, even if I protect them.
You really are a saint, Sean.
Oh, no, sir, I'm not. But I know evil, and I believe goodwill and tenacity can make this world a better place.
Have you seen Harriet Jones since taking her to old Bridget?
No. She is with the sewer Skals now. I don't go downstairs.
What happened at the Pembroke?
I guess we recognized each other. As Skals, I mean. She had but one thought. To punish. To get revenge upon everything and everyone. I realized I had to bring her here quickly.
But why did she fake her own death? There was so much blood in her room. She attacked patients, too.
I just lost her for a minute that night. When I found her, she had caused mayhem across the hospital. I slapped some sense into her, and we fled before getting caught.
What happened then?
We ran here through narrow streets and backyards. She kept saying that someone was talking to her in the dark, offering to avenge her. But I saw nobody.
Farewell, Sean. Take good care of your flock, and of yourself. Good evening, Mr.
Dr. Reed.
Goodbye.
are dying here right on the streets.
The flower's dying. It needs water.